her story. This is her story. Be bold, be brave, be beautiful. This is her story. Her story. This is her story. Be bold, be brave, be beautiful. This is her story. Every
Welcome to another episode of Hashtag Her Chosen Story. I am your host, Clivia Allen, and I'm just so happy to be here with you again. And today we have a special guest, another queen in the house, Queen Erica Renee. And today we'll be talking about resilience and recovery, navigating life after traumatic brain injury. If you've never heard of TBI, you're going to get educated today. But before I bring this queen on the stage, I would love to share her bio with you. Erica Renee is a believer and creative at heart. She is the author of Through the Lens, a book of short stories, and currently working on her second book about her traumatic brain injury story. Erica Renee is also an international speaker, producer, CEO of TBI UNcovered, and TBI coaching consultant who assists survivors with resetting their mindsets to focus on their purpose. And that's lovely. So without any further ado, please help me welcome none other than Erica Renee to the stage. Erica, how are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm wonderful, blessed. I think for the opportunity to share my story yet again. So
Yes, I
much
love that. And I know there's platforms that, you can share the story. And for me, sometimes that one person just needs to hear it,
Mhm.
right? And even if I remember interviewing a young lady the other day, she said, 27 of your, let's say your followers, they've never seen me or heard my story, right?
Mhm.
And vice versa. So I'm just honored to have you here to bless our stage and to share your story. So without any further ado, please let the folks know who you are, and then, you can share your part, and then we'll dive into some questions.
Absolutely. So as Clavia mentioned, I'm Renee. I'm a TBI survivor turned TBI conqueror. I do a plethora of things. I'm an author. God, my purpose is being an author. And outside of that, I do a plethora of several things that stem outside of that. And so I also produce several things, and I also am an international speaker as well. And I just love encouraging the TBI community, as well as those who don't know about traumatic brain injuries, to know some more information about that, and to be create more awareness around brain injuries.
That is wonderful, wonderful. The first question I have: how has your personal experience influenced your work as the founder of TBI? What does that look like? And I mean, even if you want to share how this all happened, what age were you? We can dive in, but we can also just go right into that personal experience of who you are today. Who you are today.
Okay, so TBI Uncovered. I originally I used to be so nervous to create videos, and I didn't have very much confidence being on camera. I'm like, I don't know if people gonna look at me, gonna see me. Like, 'cause you think it's just you in the camera, but
Hmm.
it be so intimidating. And so
Yeah.
once I got past that, I had the help of a coach to help me get through that. And so it was kind of confidence coach, and we do videos and things like that to get more comfortable on camera. And so she gives like challenges, things like that to be more out there. And so once I got past that, I originally had the idea to do a YouTube channel. And so I want to do a YouTube channel by different topics and things like that, which I do have a YouTube channel, whatever, but it stemmed from my idea. And so I was just thinking, and then God put in my spirit, create a platform to help other survivors tell their stories. And so not only my story, but other people's stories as well. And so then TBI Uncovered was birthed, and God gave me that name because I had no idea what to name it. So it got birthed through that. And so my personal experience and story is why God gave me the idea to create TBI Uncovered ultimately. And as a traumatic brain survivor turned conqueror, TBI conqueror, I believe it's necessary to share my story to encourage others that's in my situation who may be discouraged or think there's no way out, or it's impossible to get on the other side of this, because there is sunshine on the other side of this. So I want to share that as well, and provide a platform for those who share their stories as well as my story as well. And so the road comes with challenges, many challenges, but there's beauty that comes outside of it.
I love that, Erica, and thank you for sharing that. And I mean, even to have a platform with others, right?
Mhm.
Other survivors, and having that confidence. I share all the time. I mean, we met on Clubhouse,
Yes. Hmm.
and you would see me in the listening lounge.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's I can't even see anyone.
Yeah.
I met actually I met Renee in person because we live in the same state. So we did meet in person, but outside of her, like I'm like, I don't know these queens.
Yeah.
Why don't I just go up on the stage and share? I have a whole podcast. I minister at church. I lead different workshops. And
Hmm.
I'm like, what is it? Do I need a boost of confidence? And like sometimes I would go up just randomly, and but I love that you were able to, grow in your confidence. Now you have your own show. Now you're educating and helping others. That's a beautiful thing when you can use our experiences now, not just to help yourself or share your own story, but now you have others that are
Yes.
sharing their story. That's really, really beautiful. What role does storytelling play in the healing process for survivors of TBI? And well, I put in gun violence, but what does that look like?
So for me, plays the role story plays in the healing process of TBIs, and those of us who deal with gun violence. It's like a vulnerability piece to me, what I would describe it as, because you're so vulnerable,
Yeah,
and it says to others, you're not alone. You may, even if you feel alone, you're not alone in this. And so we get to express our feelings about having brain injuries and those who've been impacted by gun violence, and the role they play in our lives. And so I stated in the previous interview that they go hand in hand, because you can't get shot in your head and not have a TBI. And so they go hand in hand. And I don't think people look at it like that, because I know
okay.
looked at it like that until, like, I don't know, recently. And so it kind of hit me, God kind of just hit me with it. So it's like, oh, you can't have
Right.
a TBI without can't spread out your head without having a TBI.
Yeah.
And so like I said, it kind of goes hand in hand. And so it leads to acquiring a traumatic brain injury. And so with that, it made me want to create more awareness around it, because a lot of people don't look at it that way. And so I just enjoy
Right.
talking to people about it and encouraging them, and giving them, because our community, the black community, we don't really know about brain injuries. I don't think they really
Right.
know about it and stuff. And I'm like, I don't see anybody talking about this. I'm like, why is nobody talking about this? And so I said, well, I'll be the one to talk about it. So it's like the more I've gotten out there, I noticed I've seen an increase. Now, I don't know the whole world, but
Mhm.
from what I know, it's my community and through the things I've seen, I'm one of the most vocal ones about it.
Right, right. That's and how big is your community right now in regards to not really how the size, but is it mostly male, female, young people, older? It's just a mixture.
I think it's more, I would say 20s and 30s, I would say, in
Okay,
20s and above. I would say, because
okay,
I met several older people as well who
okay.
are older than me, that have acquired brain injuries and reach out to me, through DM or whatever, then ask me questions or things like that. So,
I love that. I love that. And I mean, using your platform, I mean, just looking at, I did have up your social media, and if you guys want to follow and learn more, you can follow Erica. Do you have a website? I'm not sure if I asked you that.
I have a website name.
Okay. So yeah, I know on your page you have your Erica Walker, and then you also have TBI Uncovered. So definitely check out Erica, because it's a beautiful thing to have that community, right? And again, for me, even if I have one person that I can help, one
Yeah.
person that I can encourage to share their story. And that's how we have this platform, that healing comes in our storytelling. And we may not even realize it until we start sharing. Me
Mhm.
sharing my story of being married, getting divorced, relocating, all of that, I had to heal first. And then I was able to talk about it, with that confidence. So
Absolutely.
that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Um, let's see what this says. Can you explain how personal narratives can foster community and support and understanding among those affected by gun violence. And again, it goes to show that no matter who you are, community is important, especially people of our skin color, where a
Yes.
lot of times we feel like we're alone, right? And understanding you're not alone. And sometimes even I remember sharing my story for the first time, and this lady said, wow, that was the first time that, she felt okay
To share
to
her.
be in the situation that she's in and to understand it's okay to talk about it.
Hmm.
It's okay to, because sometimes we feel, I say this sometimes when I share, we feel our story is ordinary. And then someone will hear and say, wow, that was an extraordinary story. That person is beautiful. That person, so having a community, what does that look like? Like that personal narrative to foster community support. What does that look like for you?
For me, it brings unity among those who've gone through something traumatic, whether it's gun violence or like you spoke about your situation. It can go a lot of ways. And so, but it brings us together and it extends
Yeah.
support. It extends support. So I feel like we can support one another. And even if we don't have the same thing going on, we're African American women, we're Black women, and
Mm-hmm.
so it extends support to one another as well. And it says somebody, I made if I can make it through this, whatever it may be, you can make your ordeal as well, your horrific event as well. So
Yeah.
my injury it was pretty bad. It was almost costing my life, but
Mm-hmm.
there's like I said, there's still beauty in it, and there's
Yeah.
still somebody it still helps to support somebody else that's going through the same thing behind us, or whoever can come along. So
Yeah, it's
I,
so true. And our stories are not even for ourselves, it's really for the next person,
somebody else, yeah.
So that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. What specific challenges do TBI survivors face when sharing their stories or not? And how can these challenges be addressed in, let's say, therapeutic settings? Because I mean, we talked about confidence, but outside of that, what does that look like for someone who might be struggling to be open?
So I can only speak for myself in this because, like I said, all of us are so different.
Hmm.
It's not cookie cutter.
Right.
You see one brain injury, you see one brain injury. You don't, everyone's different. And so I can speak from my personal experience. For me, it was hard for me to open up because I won't say I was embarrassed, but like I just really, I didn't know how to share it, and I didn't know like in what way to share it. But your story is your story, so there's no wrong way you can share
Exactly.
it.
I'm glad you said that before you continue because I was embarrassed to talk about being divorced. I
Mhm.
didn't want to talk about it. People didn't know for years.
Yeah.
Again, being in the church in the forefront, they thought maybe she's having issues, but we don't know because she's still smiling. But
Hmm.
I did not talk about it. I was embarrassed,
Yeah.
right? And I didn't know how to share it until in 2020 during the pandemic, someone reached out to me and her podcast was on transitioning and she threw out the question and I'm like, oh wow, I guess I gotta share, and that's my first time talking about it, and it was such a freedom to
Oh
do
yeah.
so,
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, you can continue. Yeah.
Definitely opens you up a little bit more, and it gives people the freedom to want to express themselves as well. And I will also say that it's just a real like it can turn to a conversation piece. But once you share a story, you feel open, you feel okay, like okay, I can share mine now. You feel
Yeah.
okay to release your own story,
Yeah.
and everybody's story is significant. No one's God says there's no God's no respect of persons. So
Exactly.
he doesn't put anybody above anybody. There's no like ranking like oh I'm his favorite and there's no ranking with God. He loves us all equally, and so that's a beautiful thing about that. But our survivors are different, and I would say that oh goodness, I'm sorry, I'm just having a little pain right now.
No,
But
that's okay, take your time.
okay, all survivors are different though, and we are I'm sorry.
Take
I
your
got
time, please.
can you go back to the question?
Sure, it was the specific challenges people have when sharing their TBI stories.
Okay. Um, when people there's pain that comes with surviving anything. And so for
Hmm.
me, my pain stemmed from not only getting hurt, but I also had survivor's guilt because someone was with me during my incident. They didn't make it. And so I had to deal with that too. Once
Right, and people don't talk about that part. Yeah.
so I know survivor's guilt, so, but I didn't even know this person had got hurt. Sorry, died until
Mhm.
like months after
Wow.
I even because I was in a coma for a month and a half, and
Okay.
then after that I still my brain was still healing and trying to comprehend things, and I couldn't talk for 4.5 months, and so there was still a process that had to occur. But I found out when I wasn't talking, and so that was a whole thing as well. And so my family was like, I was supposed to find out, but I found out through another family member, and they were just so upset about that. But anyhow, yeah, so I had other stuff to deal with, besides
Apart
that.
from your own, yeah,
So
yeah,
once I found out, it just tripped me into even more another whole other thing I had to deal with. So I'm like, I feel bad because I'm alive and the person's not, and just it was just a whole ripple effect. But
yeah.
because everybody we all had different stages and different steps we had to go through, and so it took me 7 years to be okay
I
with
was
talking
gonna ask you what time period did that? Okay, 7 years.
about 7 years,
Hmm.
and even then, it can take some people longer. Some people
Right.
still can't even, my mother still can't even talk about it to this day. She's like, mm-mm, I can talk about it.
Mm.
I can talk about it. And it's like,
Yeah.
mom, it's been almost 20 years. So, like,
Right.
so it's like, I'm not a mother, so I don't know what it's like to, almost a
Hmm.
child, but like, mom, it's like, it's not okay. Like, I just can't. They just can't.
Right.
So, she can't even talk about it. So, I
Yeah.
don't invite her, but nothing associated with this. Like, I'm working on
Yeah.
my place. I can ask her like any questions. I know how she feels, so I'll leave it at that.
Hmm. Hmm.
She understand me otherwise, but it's hurtful. It is a very
Yeah.
painful situation, and every person go through their own healing phase,
Yeah.
So yeah, so everybody's process is different.
Yeah.
It's not cookie cutter. You can't say, "Oh, you should be over by now." No, there's no such thing as you should be over right now. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. I love that. And I mean, I'm in awe just listening to you. The fact that you couldn't speak and
Mhm.
you're so fluent right now. I wanted to ask you, can you sing? Do you sing?
I don't sing. I mean,
Okay.
I could
Your
say,
vocals sound like you might have a little
oh, oh no, no, I can sing. Y'all can sing, but I
wait.
hold the tune. I see. Love me, I see over here. Let me play the
I love
chorus.
that. I love that. And again, like you said it right. Like everyone's healing takes time.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about resilience and recovery, and some people try to rush things. They
Mm-mm.
try to go back to the way things were, regardless of what that would look like, but it takes time. It
Yeah.
really, really takes time. And I mean, what I know you said being an author is something really important to you. What does that look like? Like, what is your, because I also author and publish books. What does that look like for you? Like, what's the time frame? Do you have to pause more often, or is just a normal process for you? How does that look when writing and publishing and things like that, seeing that
Well,
you're working on your second book?
well, I'll say this. My first book was simple because I was in college and I had a couple classes. I had a credit writing class, and I had a credit writing class and had another writing class. So we
Hmm.
had to create stories. And so my cousin said, "Well, Eric, why don't you put it in the book?" So I hadn't written it down. I had written the stories already. I just had them compiled them in a book.
Right. Oh,
So
you said it was a compile of short stories.
it's four
Got
short
it.
stories. They are very different
Okay.
lengths. So
Okay.
it's four short stories. They're very different lengths. And so I'm like, I said, okay, well, I mean, well, yeah. And so I didn't have to think about, those. Cause they were class assignments. So
Yeah.
they were assignments. So
Yeah.
I had to think about that. But this book right here, I've been working on it for the past. I said it started in 2017.
Okay.
So it's been to
It's
me,
on almost 8 years.
yeah, it's a long,
Yeah.
long time. But in that, I had moments of PTSD.
Okay.
I sit it down. Like I
Because
can't.
you're rewriting.
I'm rehashing everything. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't. It's like me in a bad space. So then I got depressed, and it just I said, up top, put it down. So put it down. Okay, and now then maybe a couple years later, okay, I pick back up again. Then I get emotional again. Then it just nonstop. But now the space I'm in now, I feel I'm in the best place I've ever been in because I believe I'm healed from that situation. Like it's not, I'm gonna never forget about it ever because it's
Of
part of my
course.
story, and I'm
Yeah.
still living it, and so I will never forget it. But it doesn't affect me to where I can't move forward. so I
Mm-hmm.
can't help other people, so it's totally different now than it was back then. But I can talk about what I cry, I can talk about what I get emotional,
Yeah.
but before it's like I was a wreck, like, oh, I can't
Yeah.
talk
And that's healing, and I remember someone just sharing with me, this was in regards to work. All good things take time. So
about
I know your book is going to be beautiful, even if it takes 20 years,
yeah.
right? I mean, I don't think it'll take that long.
No, I'm gonna have my first grad by this by my birthday. So my birthday's May 30th, so I have my first grad by May 30th.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I mean, we talk about navigating, right? This
Yeah.
healing process through TBI. What does self care look like for you? Because I see your locks and you have glowing skin. So, what does that look like for you? Like, how do you, because for me, that's part of healing as well. How do
Yeah.
you love on yourself?
How do I love my Erica? Oh, Erica, little Erica. Now she do. It, it took me a while to get to this place in my life because I, when I was a young girl, I thought my chocolate skin, I had all light skin cousins. I felt ugly. I'm like,
Hmm.
why my skin so dark and theirs so light? And so once I got past that complex, I started seeing myself differently. And so middle school, I had self-esteem issues as well. In high school, I started coming to my own. And then, as I got older, I came to my own or whatever. But and getting to know God, oh my God, changed my
It's
life.
everything.
My
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I like the I'm fearfully wonderfully made. That's my favorite verses.
Yeah.
Um if it made in God didn't make junk. He made masterpieces. And so
Hmm.
I know, and once I found my purpose as well, it took my focus off of me. So I want to please God. I'm focused on what God has called me here to do, what He placed
Yeah.
me or whatever. So that took a lot of pressure off as well. And then when you start looking at your situation, you can open your eyes to so much. You see things from a different perspective, and so
Hmm.
it definitely opened my eyes to a new environment, different things. And so self care, loving on Erica is beautiful now. I would say I gotta have peace. I cannot have. I don't like riffraff. I don't like drama. Like if
Yeah.
you get drama, miss me with it because my ears are closed and
Yeah.
I'm exercise left.
I hear you. I
I
hear you.
can't, I can't even, I don't, it gets on my nerves. I can't. And so I don't only, it make me itch. So I can't even,
Right.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, it really make me itch. So
Yeah.
I can't deal with that. I can't. So I hear you, but let's pray about it. You don't pray about it. I can't help you
Right.
because
Let's move on. Yeah.
I'll give you my opinion when you what God said about it. And so he knows best. So he knows you better than I do. And so
Hmm.
you can lie to me and say whatever you want to say, but God knows. And so I give people
Yeah.
God, when God's word, I can't help you. So I ain't got no words for you. But self care is definitely that's like emotionally that's what I would do. I pray over myself and other people as well. And then also just music. Just and there's no things I enjoy
Hmm.
doing. I love looking at water. It's so peaceful. It's so peaceful to me. I have a picture
Yeah.
of my home. It reminds me of water, and so it's not water picture, but it reminds me of water. It's blue and it's a couple of colors, but it reminds me of water. And it brings so much peace, and so
Yeah.
it's creating a peaceful atmosphere, peaceful environment. I need that, and then I say just soothing music or just I like playing puzzle games. That
Okay.
helps me relax. It's self care to me, and just doing what I want to do and just enjoy my time and enjoying time with God. That's what give me
I
peace.
love that. I love that. And I'm excited for your book. I
Mm,
am planning, normally in February I have a, sometimes I do a day, 3 days, but I have it's called Black Children's Book Week.
okay.
So I feature Black authors or have young children would read books by Black authors, but I want to celebrate our adult
Yeah.
authors. So I'll definitely keep you in the loop because I would love for you to share, about the book. And I see in the background through the lens, is that the book cover
Yes, it's my
that
book
you
cover.
have?
Yes, it is my book cover.
That's lovely. Yeah, that's lovely. I
And
love
people say, "Is that you?" I was like, "Well, no, it's not intended to be me, but I mean, I guess it can be."
that.
I used to wear buns and things like on my head.
Okay.
When they did the book tour, I used to wear a bow tie. You can see it,
Okay.
but it's
Is
a
it yellow?
yellow bow tie. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet. I
Mm.
love that. All right, Eric. I mean, this was beautiful. Again, I want our viewers to just understand that no matter what it is, it could be TBI, it could be a divorce, it could be, your cat died. Somebody I know, their dog I think after 24 years, no, 14 years, their dog died, and she has been so depressed. So no matter what it is, we know that you can heal, but you have to seek God first. We already know that that's our source, right? And like you mentioned, music. I love music. I love water. The other day, Friday morning, my friend picked me up. We went to the beach and we just chilled, and it was just lovely, right? And that's the peace. And for me, peace over everything. The peace that surpasses all understanding. Yeah. So I really love that. And we have to look within, like what can help me heal. And it's really knowing who the Lord is. And I love that I can use this platform to speak of his goodness, right? And not everyone believes, but we understand if they can hear your story and be encouraged, that's a seed that was planted, So I would really encourage you, keep doing what you're doing in your community, and, all the best on completing this book. That, I really hope that we'll be able to, meet again with some other authors and talk about it. Is there anything you want to, and I did have up a quote that you shared: no matter how hard things get, you must keep the faith.
100%.
I love that. Anything you want to leave with our listening audience? Oh, before we're going to play a game after you share something. It's a quick game, just to get the brain working a little better than it is. Okay. So leave a word of encouragement, and then we'll just tap into a quick game. Nothing hard.
Okay. Trust God in all things, and know that there's beauty inside of everything. And that's what I say TBI stands for. There's beauty inside. Yeah. So that's my acronym for TBI.
Wow, there's beauty inside. I love that.
When brain injury, there's beauty inside. So there's beauty inside of you, and God places beauty inside of all of us. So yeah.
I gotta put that up there, girl.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yes, there's beauty inside.
And that is the truth. And that's why, even again, this platform, even my brand name, and I talk about it more, chosen. We are chosen for such a time as this. And beauty starts from the inside, right? Sometimes we go through issues and our outside might be destroyed. But if your inside is beautiful, you have nothing to worry about. So just a reminder, you are chosen, Erica. And those who are listening, you are chosen for such a time as this. And before we play that game, this episode was sponsored by this community that I'm a part of, Women into Networking. And we just network and we help each other and we help build each other. Iron sharpens iron. And where are you located, Erica?
I'm in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. Okay.
I think we have a couple of members on that side. I know one is in Ohio, one is in Illinois. We have a couple of people on that side of town. I would love for you to, maybe connect with them. So this episode was sponsored by the Women into Networking community. It is a nonprofit, and we come together. We have meetups. So I'm now the Florida leader, chosen to win. So we're having a business mixer on June 7th. I'm excited about that. Just again, women mingling. Men are welcome too if you want to show up, but we want to celebrate our queens and what we're doing in this business world. So with that said, this game is called What You Heard. And I think I'm eventually going to change the title or maybe play other games, but for now, I'll stick to this. So what you heard is basically, I say a word, and whatever comes to mind first, you say it. All right? So we will start with resilience.
Strength.
TBI.
Conqueror.
Love it. Erica.
Renee.
Hey. Author.
Influencer.
I love that. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And again, we can do all things through Christ. It was a pleasure having you here with us today, and this story would be told. And I mean, you are a worldwide speaker. I don't know where you've been so far, but you might need a crew. Let me know, and I'll get my passport ready. I love it. I love it. But Erica, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Definitely a pleasure. And we'll speak again.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Guys, that was Erica Renee, navigating life after TBI. And there is beauty inside. I think, yes. Very, very beautiful queen that we were able to feature today. And, be encouraged, be encouraged. And I'm going to put that quote that she shared with us, that no matter how hard things get, you must keep the faith. And faith as the size as a mustard seed. If you've ever seen a mustard seed, it's real small, right? And that's all we need, just that type of faith. To be a guest on our show or to contribute to future episodes, please feel free to email us at chosen31handcraft@gmail.com. This atmosphere is going to shift a little bit. We'll be more in person. So no matter where you are in the world or in the States, I'll be able to either come to you, you come to me, but we need your help with that. So that's basically where the contribution comes in. Or if you want your logo to be featured, just let me know and we'll see how we can make that work. But this was another great episode of #Her Chosen Story. I am your host, Clivia. Remember, you are chosen for such a time as this. Be bold, be brave, be beautiful from the inside. Thank you for watching.